never can never be long enough to leave. Feel like I've been long enough to leave. Forget the world now, we will let them see. There is one thing I never do. Bury me.
Share her some love.
I will.
Love you, baby. Welcome, and on behalf of John and Nicole, thank you for being here on this momentous day. I'm grateful for John and Nicole for giving me this honor and privilege of officiating their wedding. I'm Jaron Springer, I'm John's brother-in-law, and shortly I'll be Nicole's brother-in-law as well. Nicole, on behalf of John's entire family, we're so happy to have you today officially become a part of our family, and we're also looking forward to becoming a part of yours. We've enjoyed so much getting to know your parents, Maria and Sal, and it's such a joyous occasion for both families. John and Nicole, you have gathered this special group of family and friends to witness and participate in one of the most memorable and meaningful days of your lives. There's a reason that each person has joined you. You know and understand how each and every soul with you today has impacted you. Everyone is supportive, happy, and by your side to take this step together. We all are honored to share this celebration with both of you. Each in attendance has meaning to you in a unique and special way, and I want you to be aware and cognizant of all these individuals and how they've shaped you. Take time tonight to think and be thankful for how many have surrounded and supported you individually and also as a couple. This is a special and distinct community just for you, and I can say for certain that the community that you have around to support, grow, and develop alongside of you will be vital to your relationship. More simply, on behalf of everyone here, we love you and we're excited to be here with you tonight. I'm currently on my 20th year of a marital adventure with John's sister, Jenny Rebecca, and I can assure you both that you'll each continue to grow and change. This is crucial to your individual happiness and fullness, and therefore your marriage will also grow and change. The choice will be yours on a daily basis to accept one another, to support and understand, to find paths together and set old paths aside. It is without a doubt a daily journey. It's because true love is not just enthusiasm, but rather it's a skill that takes work. It's generosity and empathy and forbearance. We are all flawed, and how you discuss those flaws and recognize them and embrace them will be the key. Don't concentrate on how you are each great, but seek the imperfections in one another and within yourself. Understanding and appreciating how you are each unique is significant to everlasting love within all the growth and change that's inevitable. As George Knightley said in the book Emma by Jane Austen, perhaps it is our imperfections that make us so perfect for one another. Most art forms solely focus on the falling in love part. But generally, the world doesn't talk about love past falling in love. But it's after you fall in love when the most beauty can occur. The days can be long, but the years will be short. Joyous celebrations will come, and sad times will reveal themselves. You will always stand as individuals, but today you begin life together. Slowly and consistently, you have already begun, but it will continue in ways you can't imagine. And that is what we celebrate today. Your future is now as one, and the future is more exciting than ever for you both. So all couples have their unique stories, and it seems yours is definitely written in the stars. It's one of chance encounter. There's a celestial undertone to your meeting that no one can deny. Writer and cartoonist Alan Saunders is credited with the words, "Life is what happens to us while we're making other plans." We can all relate. We spend so much time working towards something only to have the unexpected snare our attention and take us in a completely different direction. But there's always something more underneath a chance encounter, a magic, a hope, a faith in what can be. Does this sound familiar, John and Nicole? I feel like you will agree that today we're all here because of a significant chance encounter. There's even a spirituality about it that you've come to appreciate and have shared. There was no setup for this meeting, no blind date, no friend of a friend that ultimately turned into a relationship. No, each of you were on a mission that day that didn't include this encounter. Because what we all know about Nicole and John is that they are both focused and mission-driven. There are goals and an agenda for the day, and that day was no predictable day for either. I have an image in my head of Nicole at that Starbucks. Not a routine place for her to be at all. Her head was down, her AirPods were in, and she was living that city life she had known for years. And then suddenly John is asking to have a seat. I'm told Nicole didn't really look up when she said, "Sure, go ahead." Her answer to John to use that chair opposite of her. Neither woke up that day looking for a relationship. The fact is, it was an unusual and very out of routine place for both of them. John took a chance to speak to Nicole. Numbers were exchanged, and shortly thereafter, a first date was planned. Nicole was content in that moment and not looking for this, hesitant as she sensed it could change everything. And things did change. I'd like to provide a reading from The Irrational Season by Madeleine L'Engle. But ultimately, there comes a moment when a decision must be made. Ultimately, two people who love each other must ask themselves how much they hope for as their love grows and deepens, and how much risk they are willing to take. It is indeed a fearful gamble, because it is the nature of love to create. A marriage itself is something which has to be created so that together we become a new creature. To marry is the biggest risk in human relations that a person can take. If we commit ourselves to one person for life, this is not, as many people think, a rejection of freedom. Rather, it demands the courage to move into all the risk of freedom and the risk of love, which is permanent, and into that love which is not possession, but participation. It takes a lifetime to learn another person, and when love is not possession but participation, then it is part of that co-creation, which is our human calling, and which implies such risk that is often rejected. So what I've learned about Nicole, and many of you know, is she is in control. She's a rule follower. She's selective in a good way. She instills confidence in people. She instills the confidence that makes you feel like you can take over the world. She's grounded in who she is. She's easy to be friends with. She has a great head on her shoulders. She's focused, and even in their first encounter, she was head down, focused on her task that day. But John has a way of opening people up. John brings life to a gathering. He's a smile and he's a kind word. He makes everyone feel comfortable when you first meet him, and he draws your best self out. It's not hard to be friends with Nicole. It's not hard to be friends with John. They show up when you need them, and John learned quickly he needed Nicole. John brings out Nicole's silly side. John's happiest with Nicole. John adores Nicole. And John supports Nicole and is driven even more with Nicole. And Nicole understands and loves John, and they are both just happier with one another. They both work hard and they know how to focus, but they also know how to have fun, and these two are even more fun together than they are apart. I'd like to now read Union by author and minister Robert Fulgham. You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to the point of commitment. At some point you decided to marry, and from that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making promises and agreements in an informal way. All those conversations that were held riding in a car and over a meal or during long walks, all those sentences that began when we're married and continued with I will and you will and we will, those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe, all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it. I meant it every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, and even teacher, for you have learned much from one another. But now you shall say a few words that take you across the threshold of life, and things will never be quite the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, and this is my wife. John and Nicole, the covenant in which you're about to make with each other is meant to be a beautiful and sacred expression of your love for each other. As you pledge your vows to each other, as you commit your lives to each other, we ask you that you do this in all seriousness, and yet with a deep sense of joy, with a deep conviction that you are committing yourselves to a dynamic, growing relationship of mutual support and caring love. Shall we face one another? John and Nicole have thoughtfully written their vows to one another, and they will exchange them to one another. John, you are to go first. Please share your solemn promise with Nicole.
Thank you so much for letting me sit down in that Starbucks. We'd probably be somewhere very different if we hadn't, if you hadn't. When I first saw you in a puffer coat with one earbud on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, I knew I would seek to sit with you. I liked my chances of being able to. What I was completely oblivious of is the impact that you would have on my life. You make me want to be the best version of myself so that I can be a better partner for you. You augment my perception and my existence. You create organization in my chaos, structure my impulse or spontaneity, bring legitimacy to my tomfoolery, and balance my occasional wayward emotional rudder. You are my person. You are the reason that my life's journey ended up a Nashville guy in New York City. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to form our relationship and our bond. I am devoted to you, and I am completely in love with you. The sanctity of this moment in revealing my feelings for you is what I have yearned for. You are what I have dreamt of, prayed for, and what I am most grateful for having the opportunity to experience life with. I choose you to be my wife and vow to be your husband. I will continue to choose you every day and grow old looking into your beautiful blue eyes. I promise to cherish you even if we don't cherish the moment. I vow to weather the storms of life with you. in the rain or the sunshine, in quarantine or in crowds, beside you and behind you. I vow to listen and internalize your words, your intentions, ambitions, and emotions. I promise to keep working on myself so I can be a better partner for you. I promise to challenge you and to be vulnerable enough to be challenged. I will do so in sickness and in health, for richer or for richer. You are the love of my life.
And Nicole, please share now your solemn promise with John.
John, on this day, exactly 2 years and 3 months ago, you walked into my life by pure happenstance and changed my world forever. I don't know what I did right to have the stars align that day and bring us together, but I'm forever grateful you decided to sit at that table with me. We have had many adventures together throughout our relationship. We have traveled, we have laughed, we've cried, we have faced adversity. And all along, we have cultivated a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love that knows no bounds and is the force that grounds us. I love you in a way I've never felt before, an unconditional, lifelong partnership kind of love. A love that is better than anything I could have ever dreamed of. And to receive the same kind of love back from you is truly the greatest gift. On this day, our wedding day, I choose you, John Edward Rogers III, to be no one other than yourself. Loving what I know of you and trusting what things I will discover, I choose you to be my person. I promise to learn with you and grow with you, even as time and life changes us both. I promise to laugh with you in good times and struggle alongside you in bad times. I promise to respect you and cherish you as an individual, a partner, and equal, knowing that we do not just complete, but complement each other. I promise to work with you to maintain and cherish a relationship of equality, knowing that together we will build a life far better than either of us could have imagined or built alone. Today I choose you to be my husband. I accept you as you are, and I offer myself in return. I will care for you, stand beside you, and share with you all of life's adventures and all of its joys from this day forward and for all the days of my life. No measure of time with you will ever be enough, but I'd like to start with forever. I love you always, in all ways, and I'm so ready to be your wife.
Now that John and Nicole have pronounced their promise to one another, it is next a tradition that rings are exchanged. But before those rings are placed on the hands of Nicole and John, I would like to read a blessing of the hands. These are the hands of your partner, young and strong and full of love, holding your hands as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as together you build your future. These are the hands that will hold you and comfort you in grief and uncertainty. These are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow and joy. These are the hands that will hold your family as one. These are the hands that will give you strength. And these are the hands that will, even when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Though we have heard the vows to one another, these words, once spoken, have just been carried away with the wind. Therefore, the wedding ring is a visible symbol of the promises that have been made. May they remind you, John and Nicole, that marriage is not a destination but a journey with no beginning and no end, but just a moment-to-moment opportunity to love and be loved to the best of your ability. John, you will go first. John, place this ring on Nicole and share with her its meaning by repeating after me. With this ring, we forge a new path on our adventure together.
We forge a new path on our adventure together.
It is a reminder of today
It is a reminder of today
and all our hopes and dreams for the future.
and all of our hopes and dreams for the future.
I commit to you always and forever.
I commit to you always and forever.
Nicole, now it is your turn to place a ring on John and share with him its meaning by repeating after me. With this ring,
we
forge a new path on our adventure together.
we forge a new path on our adventure together.
It is a reminder of today
It is a reminder of today
and all our hopes and dreams for the future.
and all our hopes and dreams for the future.
I commit to you always and forever.
I commit to you always and forever.
Now I'd like to read a blessing for a marriage by poet and minister James Dillett Freeman. May your marriage bring you all the exquisite excitements a marriage should bring, and may life grant you also patience, tolerance, and understanding. May you always need one another, not so much to fill your emptiness as to help you know your fullness. A mountain needs a valley to be complete. The valley does not make the mountain less, but more. A valley is more a valley because it has a mountain towering over it. So let it be with you and you. May you need one another, but not out of weakness. May you want one another, but not out of lack. May you entice one another, but not compel one another. May you embrace one another, but not out-encircle one another. May you succeed in all important ways with one another and not fail in the little graces. May you look for things to praise and often say, I love you, and take no notice of small faults. If you have quarrels that push you apart, may both of you hope to have the good sense enough to make the first step back. May you enter into the mystery, which is the awareness of one another's presence, no more physical than spiritual, warm and near and when you are side by side, and warm and near when you are in separate rooms or even in distant cities. May you have happiness, and may you find it making one another happy. May you have love, and may you find it loving one another. Nicole and John, you have expressed your love to one another through the commitment and promises you have just made. May the blessings of life, the joy of love, the peace of truth, and the wisdom and strength of spirit be your constant companion, now and always, as husband and wife. And it is with this in mind that I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may seal this union with a kiss. It is an honor and privilege, and with great distinction now, to introduce for the first time Mr. and Mrs. John Edward Rogers III.